Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Your warm welcome to everyone to Nashville, Tennessee Satsang offering. On this joyous occasion of the 128th Advent to Arunachala celebration, we will be presenting the enormous power of Arunachala, extolled by Bhagavan Ramana himself through his compositions and by reading excerpts from a 1982 Mountain Path editorial article, The Power of Arunachala, by Sri Michael James.
The thought and unique sanctity of Arunachala. By seeing Chidambaram, by being born in Thiruvarur, by dying in Kashi, or by merely thinking of Arunachala, one will surely attain liberation. The supreme knowledge, self-knowledge, the import of Vedanta, which cannot be attained without great difficulty, can easily be attained by anyone who sees the form of this hill from wherever it is visible, or who even thinks of it by the mind from afar. Such is the assurance given by Lord Shiva in the Arunachala Mahatmyam about the power of the mere thought of Arunachala, and this assurance has received striking confirmation from the life and teachings of Bhagavan Sri Ramana. Bhagavan, reading the unique greatness and power of Arunachala to devotees, has said, "One Arunachala is equal in power to 1 crore Om Namah Shivaya," and explained that not everyone can see Chidambaram, not everyone can be born in Thiruvarur, and not everyone can die in Kashi, but anyone and everyone can think of Arunachala from wherever they may be, and thereby they will surely attain liberation. Whenever Sri Bhagavan was asked about the special sanctity of Arunachala, he used to explain that other holy places such as Kailash, Kashi, and Chidambaram are sacred because they are the abodes of Lord Shiva, whereas Arunachala is Lord Shiva himself. In the first verse of Sri Arunachala Ashtakam, Sri Bhagavan tells us that from his very earliest childhood, when he knew no other thing, Arunachala was shining in his mind as the most great, and this thought of Arunachala so worked in his mind that at the age of 16, a great fear of death arose in him and turned his mind selfwards to drown forever in its source. In his writings, Sri Bhagavan has repeatedly confirmed the mysterious power the thought of Arunachala has over the mind. In his Tamil collected works, under the picture of Arunachala, there is a verse that can be considered as his Dhyana Shloka upon his Sadguru, Arunachala Shiva. In this verse he sings, "This is Arunachala Shiva, the ocean of grace that bestows liberation when thought of." In the first verse of Sri Arunachala Aksharamanamale, he sings, "O Arunachala, you root out the ego of those who think of you in the heart as Arunachala." In the 102nd verse, he sings, "O Arunachala, the moment I thought of you, I was caught in the trap of your grace. Can the net of your grace ever fail?" And in the second verse of Sri Arunachala Navamanimalai, he sings, "Mukti Ninaika Varul Arunachalam," meaning, Arunachala, the mere thought of you bestows liberation. But only in the 10th verse of Sri Arunachala Padigam does Sri Bhagavan actually reveals how the thought of Arunachala works in the mind to root out the ego. In this verse he sings, "I have seen a wonder, a magnetic hill that forcibly attracts the soul. Arresting the activities of the soul who thinks of it even once, drawing it to face itself, the one, making it thus motionless like itself, it feeds upon that sweet, pure and ripened soul. What a wonder this is! O souls, be saved by thinking of this great Arunagiri, which shines in the mind as the destroyer of the soul, the ego." Thus, in this verse, Sri Bhagavan reveals how the thought of Arunachala works within the mind to arrest its activities, to attract its attention towards self, thereby making it still. In other words, Sri Bhagavan assures that the thought of Arunachala will lead the mind to the path of self-enquiry, the direct path for all, as indeed happened in his own case.
We are rendering a Telugu translation of first verse of Bhagavan's composition, Sri Arunachala Padigam. In this verse, Bhagavan extols Arunachala as a mighty hill, the cascade of abundant grace, and shining as the sun of suns. He pleads with Arunachala to reveal his true form and save us caught up in this dreary worldly life.
నన్ను నీవానిగయన్నిక దయచేసి నిన్ను తెలియగనీవదేమి నా కర్మమో నన్ను నీవానిగయన్నిక దయచేసి నిన్ను తెలియగనీవదేమి నా కర్మమో ఎన్నిక దయచేసి నిన్ను తెలియగనీవదేమి నా కర్మమో నా కర్మమో. నీకోసమే వేచి లోకాల చీకట్ల కలసిపోవలనేమో ఏమి ప్రారబ్ధమో. నీకోసమే వేచి లోకాల చీకట్ల కలసిపోవలనేమో ఏమి ప్రారబ్ధమో. నీకోసమే వేచి లోకాల చీకట్ల కలసిపోవలనేం ఏమి ప్రారబ్ధమో. నీకోసమే వేచి లోకాల చీకట్ల కలసిపోవలనేం ఏమి ప్రారబ్ధమో. నన్ను నీవానిగయన్నిక దయచేసి నిన్ను తెలియగనీవదేమి నా కర్మమో నా కర్మమో. ఇనుని గణని పద్మమెట్లు వికసించును ఇనులకినుడవీవు ఇంకేమనందును. ఇనుని గణని పద్మమెట్లు వికసించును ఇనులకినుడవీవు ఇంకేమనందును. ఉప్పొంగునది బోలే ఉరకలో నీ కరుణ ప్రేమ స్వరూపమీ అరుణ మహాగిరి. ఉప్పొంగునది బోలే ఉరకలో నీ కరుణ ప్రేమ స్వరూపమీ అరుణ మహాగిరి. ఉప్పొంగునది బోలే ఉరకలో నీ కరుణ ప్రేమ స్వరూపమి అరుణ మహాగిరి. ఉప్పొంగునది బోలే ఉరకలో నీ కరుణ ప్రేమ స్వరూపమి అరుణ మహాగిరి. నన్ను నీవానిగ ఎన్నిక దయచేసి నిన్ను తెలియగనీవదేమి నా కర్మమో నన్ను నీవానిగ ఎన్నిక దయచేసి నిన్ను తెలియగనీవదేమి నా కర్మమో నా కర్మమో.
The Gurutvam of Arunachala. Arunachala has always been renowned as the bestower of liberation, the destroyer of the ego, the remover of the false notion I am the body, as the Jnana Guru par excellence. When Brahma and Vishnu began to quarrel, being deluded by pride and egoism, Lord Arunachala Shiva appeared before them in the form of a column of fire, thereby vanquishing their egoism and teaching them true knowledge. When Shakti, goddess Parvati, wished to attain a state in which she could do no wrong, Lord Shiva sent her to Arunachala, where she merged and became one with him. Thus, even to Brahma and Vishnu, Arunachala was Guru, and to Parvati, it was the place where she lost her separate individuality. Throughout the ages, saints and sages have sung extolling the unique power of Arunachala to root out the ego and to bestow self knowledge. All the four great Shaiva sages of Tamil Nadu, Manikavachakar, Sundaramurti, Appar, and Jnanasambandar, have sung in praise of Arunachala. In one verse pointed out by Sri Bhagavan, Jnanasambandar described this hill as being Jnana Tiral, a dense mass of Jnana. And Sundaramurti sings, O Annamalai, you can be known only to those who give up the attachment to the body. These Puranic stories and songs of ancient sages all confirm the fact that Arunachala is the supreme Jnana Guru. But this fact has received its most striking confirmation from Sri Bhagavan. In verse 19 of Aksharamanamala, he explicitly states that Arunachala shines as the form of his Guru and reveals the function of the real Guru, namely to destroy all our defects, including the root defect, the ego, to bestow all good qualities upon us and to rule over us. In many of his other verses, Sri Bhagavan has clearly indicated that the role of Arunachala is the role of the Satguru. For example, in Aksharamanamala, he sings that Arunachala roots out the ego of those who think of it. Verse 1, that it annihilates those who approach it as God. Verse 48, instructs through silence. Verse 36, and that it teaches the path of self-inquiry. Verse 44. He has also confirmed from his own experience the power of Arunachala as Guru. In verse 8 of Sri Arunachala Navamani he sings that in order to put an end to his sufferings in the world, Arunachala gave me his own state. In verse 9, he describes the wonder of Arunachala's grace, saying, you entered my mind, drew me, and established me in your own state.
We present to you a Hindi translation of this 8th verse of Sri Arunachala Navamani Malai, composed by Bhagavan Ramana, that extols the Gurutvam of Arunachala.
भूमिनाथ के पावन नगरी तिरचूली में जन्म हुआ, तिरचूली में जन्म हुआ। भूमिनाथ के पावन नगरी तिरचूली में जन्म हुआ, तिरचूली में जन्म हुआ। पिता सुंदरम माता अழகு को शिवजी का ये मिलाद हुआ। पिता सुंदरम माता अழகு को शिवजी का ये मिलाद हुआ। भूमिनाथ के पावन नगरी तिरचूली में जन्म हुआ, तिरचूली में जन्म हुआ। जग जंजाल से मुझे छुड़ाया, दे अवस्था आनंद की। जग जंजाल से मुझे छुड़ाया, दे अवस्था आनंद की। अरुणाचल रूप धारण करके प्रकट हुई माया शिव की, प्रकट हुई माया शिव की। भूमिनाथ के पावन नगरी तिरचूली में जन्म हुआ, तिरचूली में जन्म हुआ। शिव शक्ति शिव तत्व जगाने धरती पे मुझको लाया। शिव शक्ति शिव तत्व जगाने धरती पे मुझको लाया। जय अरुणाचला
जय शिव शंकर अरुणाचलं शिव की छाया अरुणाचलं शिव की छाया जय अरुणाचल जय शिव शंकर जय अरुणाचल जय शिव शंकर जय अरुणाचल जय शिव शंकर अरुणाचला अरुणाचला अरुणाचला.
All that Sri Bhagavan has said about the power of Arunachala tallies exactly with what he has said about the power of the Guru. In verse 268 of Guru Vachaka Kovai, the garland of Guru's sayings, he says that the Guru is he who possesses the supreme power to make any soul who comes to him merge into self, the knowledge beyond all speech. The Guru works in many ways to make the disciple merge into the self. He gives a push from without and exerts a pull from within so that you may be fixed in the center, says Sri Bhagavan in Maharshi's Gospel. From without, the Guru gives verbal instructions to turn the disciple's mind towards self, and he also enables the disciple to have association, Satsang, with his form, and thereby to gain the necessary strength and love to turn within and attend to self. To give verbal instructions, it is necessary for the Guru to be in human form, but to give Satsang and subtle inner guidance, he may be in any form. Sri Bhagavan has come as the Guru in human form to give us all the necessary verbal instructions, and he has revealed that Arunachala is the Guru in the form of a hill with which we can always have Satsang. The power of Satsang of Arunachala was often confirmed by Sri Bhagavan. Dr. T. N. Krishnaswamy records in the Ramana pictorial souvenir that Sri Bhagavan once said to him, "The whole hill is sacred. It is Shiva himself. Just as we identify ourselves with a body, so Shiva has chosen to identify himself with this hill." Arunachala is pure wisdom, jnana, in the form of a hill. It is out of compassion to those who seek him that he has chosen to reveal himself in the form of a hill visible to the eye. The seeker will obtain guidance and solace by staying near this hill. Like any human body, the human form of the Guru will inevitably pass away one day, whereas the form of Arunachala will always remain. Thus, though Sri Bhagavan has left his human form, he has provided us with all the requisite outward help. He has left us with a permanent record of his verbal teachings, and he has shown us a form with which we can always have satsang. Therefore, for the devotees of Sri Bhagavan, there will never be any need of search for another outer Guru, because all the necessary help and guidance is ever available for us in the form of the teachings of Sri Bhagavan and the satsang of Arunachala.
Arunachala Ramana. To understand the power of Arunachala, it is first necessary to understand the relationship that existed between Arunachala and Bhagavan. To Bhagavan, Arunachala was mother, father, guru, and God. It was his all in all, his own self. Sri Bhagavan often said, God, Guru, and self are one and the same, and to him, Arunachala was all three of these. In verse 48 of Aksharamana Malai, he refers to Arunachala as his God, in verse 19 as his Guru, and in verse 5 of Atma Vidya Kirtanam as Annamalai, my self. Truly, Arunachala is Ramana and Ramana is Arunachala. The two are inseparable. Arunachala is Ramana in the form of a hill, and Ramana is Arunachala in human form. The oneness that Sri Bhagavan felt with Arunachala is disclosed in many of his verses. When a devotee inquired about his true nature, he replied, Arunachala Ramana is the Supreme Self who blissfully abides as consciousness in the heart cave of all souls, beginning with Hari, Lord Vishnu. The same name, Arunachala Ramana, which he used while referring to himself, he also uses while addressing the hill in the last verse of Aksharamana Malai. And in verse 90, he calls the hill Ramana. When Sri Bhagavan composed Sri Arunachala Pancharatnam in Sanskrit, a devotee composed a concluding verse in which he said that these 5 verses were an Upanishad revealed by Srimad Ramana Maharshi. Later, when Sri Bhagavan translated this hymn into Tamil, he adapted this concluding verse and substituted the name Arunagiri Ramana for the name Srimad Ramana Maharshi, thereby indicating that it was Arunagiri, Arunachala itself, in the form of Ramana, who sang this hymn. From all this, it is clear that Sri Bhagavan experienced no individuality or existence of his own separate from Arunachala. Though Bhagavan Ramana has left his human form, he will always remain shining here in the form of Arunachala, giving guidance and solace to his devotees. Therefore, the power of Arunachala is the power of Ramana, the power of the Sadguru's grace.
We conclude with another Hindi composition that tells us to hasten to Arunachala, enjoy his beautiful satsang, turn inwards, and feel the power of Arunachala Ramana shining within all of us.
चल अरुणाचल 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 मोह से मन को ना करे घायल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल मोह से मन को ना करे घायल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल शोक भाग्य को डोल बदल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल शोक भाग्य को डाल बदल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल सब प्रश्नों का एक ही हल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल सब प्रश्नों का एक ही हल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल सब जीवों का हृदय कमल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल सब जीवों का हृदय कमल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल चल अरुणाचल अहम भज ज्ञान की पायल चल अरुणाचल अहम भज ज्ञान की पायल चल अरुणाचल ओढ़ ले प्रेम विज्ञान का चल अरुणाचल ओढ़ ले प्रेम विज्ञान का चल अरुणाचल 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 चल अरुणाचल.
Our special thanks, as always, to Arunachala Ashrama and team for giving us this opportunity to offer our presentation at Bhagwan's feet in today's celebration. We also thank Bangalore Ramana Center for its continued support. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.